Not too long ago, Nova Scotia looked to its primary industries, fishing, forestry, farming, and mining, as the most important factors in its economy. But something new has been happening in this province by the sea. While the primary industries still form a sound basis for our economic future, manufacturing has become the largest single industry. There is, in fact, a new Nova Scotia. Progress is visible at first glance. Modern commercial and institutional buildings are replacing the tired old structures. Factories are springing up where there were none before, producing numerous diversified products. We see the faces of towns changing as subdivisions mushroom, becoming almost towns within towns. Shopping centers are being built to serve them. Up-to-date stores are evidence of steady growth. This new development, this new growth, we can see all around us. Today, 60% of our people live in urban centers. As we scan the Nova Scotia scene, we see this changing pattern. New factories and new products, with resulting urban expansion and a better material life for our people. But where are the markets for the goods we manufacture? Many are close by. Nova Scotia is located in the center of Canada's expanding Atlantic regional market of nearly 2 million people. To the west, there is the remainder of our important national market. To the south, we look to our United States and to our Caribbean and South American markets. To the east, we look to our expanding world markets. Nova Scotia, the most easterly part of the Canadian mainland, is strategically located at the crossroads of world traffic. These, then, are the markets, both present and potential, that Nova Scotia looks toward as she builds her manufacturing complex. An expanding industrial society needs trained workers who are able to qualify in today's specialized trades. The work of the research scientist cannot be overestimated either. These people are helping to open the way to new products and techniques. New horizons come into view with the opening of a book. Since 1949, bookmobiles have been traveling through the rural areas of Nova Scotia. Today, bookmobiles, supplied by regional libraries, reach throughout the countryside, making books available to all age groups, so that a library becomes familiar to the youngest reader. The little red schoolhouse is no more. Instead, consolidated elementary schools and high schools function in rural areas, offering the same opportunities that children receive in urban communities. Specialized training in vocational, technical, and trade schools is available. Per capita, Nova Scotia has more educational facilities than any other Canadian province. Increasing opportunities for learning and specialized training are available right here. Let us take a fresh look at Nova Scotia through the eyes of our young generation. The colorful orchards of the Annapolis Valley yield one of Nova Scotia's oldest and best-known farm products, dessert variety apples, already well established on overseas markets. But a new crop, tobacco, being grown for the first time on a commercial scale, promises to be one of the province's most important cash crops. On the lush grasslands of this province, beef cattle and other livestock are being raised in greater numbers. Livestock already accounts for 70% of the gross value of agricultural production, and the potential is vastly greater. In the mining industry, there are many new developments, and the tempo of exploration is running high. 80% of Canada's gypsum production comes from Nova Scotia, which has an annual output of some 4 million tons. Walton, on the Bay of Fundy shore, exports 150,000 tons of barytes annually, and this is on the location of the largest known single deposit of barytes in the world. Also at Walton, a large deposit of silver-lead-zinc-bearing ore has been outlined, and a concentrator is now in operation. Nova Scotia rock salt products are being exported to world markets from the mines at Pugwash, where there is a deposit of 200 million tons, enough to keep 100 men working on 8-hour shifts for 100 years. Coal is playing an important part in the production of thermal power, and the supply for future demands is unlimited. The increasing demands for petroleum products have brought about the expansion of oil refining facilities in the province, which could result in new developments in the chemicals field. About 9,600,000 acres of Nova Scotia's land surface are forest areas. The value of forestry to the economy is on a par with the returns from agriculture and mining. New mechanized hauling, handling, and production techniques are being introduced to improve the industry's output and cost structure. Then there are the harvests from the sea. The fisheries, the oldest of all Nova Scotia's industries, are worth more than $50 million annually, with huge potential. There are also the gardens of the sea. Research on seaweeds, particularly Irish moss and the common rockweed Ascophyllum, from which algins are extracted, have a potential now under study. From the sea, the forests, the land, and from beneath the Earth's surface, we draw upon our resources, the raw materials for industry. But industry requires power at reasonable rates. Therefore, we have the harnessing of rivers, and in collaboration with the neighboring province of New Brunswick, a transmission grid that helps to ensure power where and when it is needed. Thermal power projects are another source of present and future supplies. Efficient transportation is a key to markets. A modern provincial highway network and 2 transcontinental railway systems provide access to markets on the North American continent. Air freight is expanding through the new international airport at Halifax, the Atlantic province's center for regional, provincial, and national air transport, and jet services to world markets. In this age of jetliners, major markets of the world are only hours away. Shipping, the first mode of transportation, is still of the greatest importance to Nova Scotia. For instance, over 9 million tons of import and export cargo is handled annually in the year-round port of Halifax. In most cases, our major ports are closer to many foreign ports than are others along the Atlantic seaboard of North America. Millions of dollars are being invested in Nova Scotia by private interests. To augment private financial resources, money is being placed in new projects by the federal government through the Industrial Development Bank and by the province through Industrial Estates Limited. Industrial Estates Limited operates like a private industrial development company under a board of directors of prominent businessmen. If a company wishes to build a new manufacturing plant in Nova Scotia, IEL will finance the construction of the building. The design, specifications, and location are chosen by the client. If an established company wishes to expand its operations, IEL will finance the building program. Industrial Estates Limited operates on a non-profit basis. The number of projects it has assisted is evidence that its services are of interest to industry and that Nova Scotia has much to offer. Two British companies, Ferry Aviation and EMI Cosser, have taken advantage of the services of IEL. Both have greatly enlarged their facilities with a relative increase in employees. Another new Canadian company assisted by IEL, the Italian firm of Donato, Faini and Figli Canada Limited, located in the Pictou Industrial Park, produces knitted wear. Some plants, like Atlantic Bridge at Lunenburg, contract for many products, such as aluminum doors for destroyer escorts, fiberglass products, or stainless steel fish processing equipment. The Surrett Battery Company Limited of Spring Hill, encouraged to locate in Nova Scotia by IEL, has been awarded contracts for automotive batteries in Canada and, farther afield, batteries for the U.S. Army. Angel Manufacturing and Supply Company of North Sydney produces a variety of foundry products, including cast iron moldings and sheet metal piping. So we see many of the plants already assisted by IEL manufacturing a wide range of products, many of them new to Nova Scotia. The list is continuing to grow. The builders of pleasure craft are turning to new techniques. Plywood and fiberglass outboards are being produced, many for export to the United States. But with traditional methods, men who built the famous fishing schooner Bluenose now build modern wooden ships for our expanding offshore fishery. The ultra-modern ships of steel that we build or repair in our shipyards are prime examples that the skills of our workers are specialized indeed. And it is with pride they look to their handiwork as ships of steel slip down the ways. What does a new industry do for an area? Consider for a few moments the new chemical pulp mill at Point Tupper on the Strait of Canso. This mill will provide work, directly or indirectly, for 2,500 men. The result, the need for new homes and services as the town grows. Banks, always a symbol of new prosperity and growth, have been moving in or expanding their facilities. Huge quantities of pulpwood are supplied from a wide area, another new source of income resulting from the establishment of the mill. One of the most modern in the world, it can produce 350 tons of high-grade chemical pulp each day. It requires 200,000 cords of softwood and 50,000 cords of hardwood each year to function at its peak. The requirements for this mill alone are stimulating forestry production even further, as well as more efficient forest management. The long-established Bowaters Mersey Mill at Liverpool is another gigantic operation. It provides huge supplies of newsprint for home and export markets. Canadian Kai's Fibre at Hansport makes molded pulp products. It is easily seen why the demand for pulp from these three outlets alone has introduced more efficient machinery and methods in cutting and handling, and the need for more skilled and unskilled workers. Sawn lumber is another important forest product that is on the increase. Apart from construction use, it supports new secondary industries, such as the building of school and office furniture by the Oxford Desk Company. Other furniture plants in Nova Scotia are using the products of the forest in this way. The potential of the forest land is unlimited. and the potential for secondary industries utilizing this resource is great. Agriculture is the primary industry behind the busy food processing plants, which already yield a high return to the economy of the province. A special variety of potato that will give a nice white chip is required for quality potato chips and is supplied under contract from Valley Farms. As well as the usual canning operations, a new freezing plant in the Annapolis Valley stimulates additional farm produce also grown under contract, such as peas, beans, cucumbers, and tomatoes. These products are continuing to find expanding markets in foreign areas, such as the United States and Europe. Apples and their byproducts, concentrated juice and the like, are finding ready acceptance here and abroad. The commercial value of blueberries, a natural fruit crop that grows in large quantities in Nova Scotia, is increasing in value, which will be enhanced even more with the establishment of new deep freeze plants. The new Nova Scotia Cooperative Abattoir at Halifax is stimulating high-grade livestock production, especially pork and beef. The familiar NS brand, spelling out the abbreviation of the province's name, is becoming widely and favorably known. Strangely enough, the fishing industry, worth more than $50 million a year to the province, has proven that in this machine age, automation cannot match the skill of a man's hands in filleting fish. The most modern fish plant in the world is under construction at Lunenburg, and new techniques and products are being developed. Lobster, scallops, haddock, and other varieties of ocean foods are making their way to the dining tables of inland towns and cities, fresh from the sea, by the increasing use of air transport. Steel and iron production is still an important industry. From red-hot ingots, steel products, nails for construction, commercial wire fencing, rails for transportation. A steel rail being laid in Mexico may well have come from Sydney. Structural steel is prefabricated in Nova Scotia for heavy construction. Nova Scotia itself provides a ready market for steel products. As an example, the mighty span at Great Brador in the heart of beautiful Cape Breton Island required huge quantities. Vital links such as this are important indeed to our highways program. Mammoth highway building projects are part of the changing Nova Scotia scene. Our highways are avenues of industry and byways of pleasure. As our metropolitan centers grow, so do the demands upon our roads, and new ones must be constructed. In turn, more employment results. Modern equipment is needed. Needs create demands, and demands create needs. The cycle is endless. As you have seen, we are building factories, homes, schools, churches, hospitals, banks, roads, and bridges. We are building upon the accomplishments of the past for a promising future. We are building solidly to equip us better to take every advantage of opportunities, building on a firm foundation to help us meet the challenges that arise. We are continuing to build the new Nova Scotia.